Well, good morning and hello, everyone. This is the McDermott Open brought to you by Yale Billiards and, of course, McDermott and many other sponsors. I'm Jeremy Jones, joined by Scott Frost and Bobby Hilton, the room owner here, and a guy who always has a lot to do with what's going on. We got a couple of semifinals here on the World 9-Ball Tour. First off, FSR to play a somewhat of a local guy. He's down the road in Virginia, but plays a lot around the Northeast, and a great player, Brandon Schuff. But our feature match is, of course, the guy at the table, Eklent Kaci, against Eagle Eye Jayson Shaw. Scott and Bobby, any thoughts here on a Sunday morning?
Well, how you doing? First off, I just want to say thank you all for having me. Thank you, Bobby Hilton and Yale Billiards, along with Digital Pool WNT TV. But I guess you'd have to say this is about a pick'em, Kaci and Shaw. It sounds like Kaci is playing a little bit better than he did during the PLP that we covered, Jeremy. I haven't had a chance to cover any of his matches, but if he's playing the way he typically does, it's got to be about a pick.
Well, I
Yeah,
think, it can go ahead, Bobby. Sorry, buddy.
which gave an interview to Eklund before the match, and he seemed like he was ready to go. He obviously gave a lot of respect to Jayson Shaw, being his Moscone Cup captain and all. But interviewed both guys, and they both seemed like they're ready to go. I didn't see a lot of hype, and they seemed focused. And this is the first McDermott Open, and hope to have many here. We're excited to have this matchup in the semifinals.
I mean, I think Jayson was hitting the ball really well at the PLP. I think Kachi started off hitting the ball pretty well, believe it or not, but just let a couple shots get away early matches, and then things became unraveled. But I think that's also has to do with the event itself. I think your margin for error mentally is is pretty slim. But I expect to actually put Kachi as a hair of a favorite, maybe this match, just a hair,
Really?
just a hair,
Hey,
just a hair,
okay.
just a hair.
Just a hair. One tidbit about
Yeah,
him.
I just like. I mean, of course, Jason's been putting in maximum effort too, but I just like that the guy's got. It's not so much everything's natural. He's putting in a lot of work mentally. I
Oh, it's
think.
good to hear.
He makes it look so natural. And one tidbit for him is he's played here a couple times. His room is actually 30 minutes south of here, and he's been here several events. He played Orts a couple months ago, and he also played Earl Strickland, and he's undefeated here at Yale Billiards. So we'll see if the streak can continue in this match.
So I love to see these two playing on the 4-inch pocket. I mean, anywhere would be fine, but really to see what kind of skills they both possess. Maybe a little better than maybe most in the world at pocketing the ball. Tough equipment.
Like Jason's going to steal the first rack, the first break.
You want me to? It's a race to 13 or a race to 11 still.
That's a great question.
No, it's a race to 11 for the semifinals and a race to 13 for the finals, fellas.
There we go.
Excellent. Race to 11. Winner break. They are breaking from the box. It's not your traditional box. 3-foul rule is in effect. All ball fouls, right? And that means touching any object ball. Any object is a foul. No cues are allowed. 9 is racked on the spot.
And I believe we have referees on both tables as well. So hopefully they'll be sharing the referee. So the racks will be relatively quick, and they'll be watching for all the, obviously, any shirt hanging over or anything like that. So
I'm sorry, guys. I was doing something technically right there. Did you say there is a shot clock, or is there's not?
there's not two referees on one referee at each table. So it should go rather quickly as far as racking goes. There's no waiting in between. So there is no shot. And actually,
I can't
Jeremy,
really
sorry,
Go
Jeremy
ahead,
and
Bob.
Scott, I'd like your opinion. I didn't um, for the McDermott Open. I was thinking next time because I didn't post it. I didn't want to throw it in there at the end. But how do you guys feel about the shot clock in the finals, semifinals?
I'm fine with it right now. You're just getting our way. So I don't think we're gonna have a problem with any of these guys, to be honest with you. So I don't think it's a major deal right now, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, I like it myself. Anytime it's workable in the tournament, be honest with you, with manpower and whatever you need, get it done. But I think it's good for the game overall and the players.
It sounds
It
good.
places some
McDermott,
of their best pool.
McDermott too will have a shot clock.
Yeah, just right now. I mean, these two guys in particular aren't necessarily going to need it. Kaci takes a little bit more time. Jason's such a quick player.
Yeah, the way he moves around, it's unbelievable to watch. It's like he's almost like you said, not thinking, but he puts that effort and time in to do what he does, but he just does it so different than, the fillers and the Fedors, etc.
Overall, to JJ's point, though, we've seen it when shot clocks haven't been implemented, and it can really start to take a toll on the match or the game. Decisions become faltered. So I am a big believer in the shot clock. And I just, in the defense of this event, I think it's fair to say that you've done as much as you can so far.
Appreciate it.
I think the schedule has made it to where really hasn't been much of a subject. The way he's formatted the tournament.
Yeah, it's another thing I want to talk to you guys about real quick. So, we did a 64 player in a 4-day event, which I feel is seems a little bit more better for the players. They're out of here by 7:30. They're playing at 10 a.m. Obviously, they have expenses a little bit more. They stay an extra day, but like for the announcers and just the event, and the players seem to like it as well. We don't cram them in there.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's just perfect. Really. An extra day is an extra day of comfort is a good thing. Putting these players in the best position to play their best pool, that should be number one. Done that here. Pretty good opening for a break and run. Nice shot on the 2. He had to swerve it just a little bit.
Jeremy, yesterday I covered Jayson Shaw. I know you covered a lot of matches. I covered Shaw versus Labutis. Jayson opened up with a 5-pack, clean 5-pack, to run 5 before Labutis got a look at a kit. I believe it was 8-1 before Labutis actually got a look at a ball at his hole. It's one of the reasons I felt like Jason's really got his break timing down and just like you said, he was playing great as well in PLP all the way through. So I just think this will be an interesting match.
I didn't have that information. But yeah, I've liked the way he's played. And just looking at the first rack, of course, he's going to take time on that first shot, had to swerve it, but really didn't rush any other shot. But of course, he's never going to be slow. So I think a good look at Jayson Shaw and what he's. And I think he's become probably, as far as making the one, maybe top 3 or 4 out there making the one on the break as far as consistency.
Yeah, I definitely can't disagree with you there. Touched on that last week or 2 weeks ago in Sarajevo. Pretty shocking how often he makes this one ball.
He is a
Yeah.
Teom sponsored player as well, and we are using the Teom Max rack, so that might have a little something to do with it. Probably had a little practice at his place using that rack.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that adds a little more, but he's just been so good no matter. He's got these soft hands. He can kind of kill this ball right here. I like him doing that and taking the cut. He's going to try and power up.
Yeah, you're talking about killing out toward center.
Yeah, he's
I
so good
agree.
at that from distance. I mean, just pinches the ball. He opens the pocket along with it. I think he's trying to get ready to hit it in 100 miles an hour.
There's always a treat right here when he does this stuff. It
Oh, how
just
good is that? Slept well last night, Scott.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
See how easy the cue ball moved? That wasn't a whole lot
Yes,
of angle.
agreed. Something you notice he does, I never notice it. He'll get his hand settled multiple while he's down on. He'll resettle the hand multiple times, which is bridge hand. Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting. A lot of players will just hold it steady. Jason likes to get it real solid and will change the position multiple times before pulling the trigger. That was a real good example there.
Yeah, he kind of does that on the way down. He kind of goes halfway down, takes down to get settled in. But pool's amazing. The first shot he had to make with a lot of power, and then the second shot really delicate. No problem.
And something else you just touched on, JJ, is the pace at which he's playing. He's a quick player, but look at the time he's taking between each ball. Isn't real characteristic of Jason unless he's really trying to win. I think he's just extremely dialed in. This pace will pick up as he goes on. You can guarantee it. But right now, probably just trying to find everything and take nothing for granted.
Yeah, and what I see, just knowing Jason and being around him, especially a lot lately, we're all small family in Sarajevo for 3 weeks or whatever it was. But he's very interested in what he's doing right now. That's what he expressed to me. He just really wants to play a lot of pool. I think these little extra times and that rhythm you're seeing, the guy that's trying to be very invested.
Scott, talking about Sarajevo. How was those mountain hikes that you guys did? You looked a little tired walking up those things. They seemed like they weren't like quick walks. How did you guys enjoy those walks?
Well, let me tell you something. Day one was fun. Jayson Shaw in a little better shape than the freezer. That's for certain. We hiked this straight mountain 2 times. We hiked it, came back down, went to the resort. He wanted to go back, talked to me into it. We did it in the middle of the night. And let's just say day two, I was pretty much bedridden. Jason was at my door at like 10 o'clock in the morning, ready to go again. The young man is full of energy. And I mean that with all sincerity. But it was a blast. We had a blast.
Awesome.
Ball's going to end up some distance away. Good chance we get our first look at the big guy.
And what do you like, Jeremy? I mean, there is a good stick behind the two, right? You could also just use the 8 to hold the 2 there. What do you like in this position? Do you use the 8 to hold the 2 there?
I think he can do that pretty easily. I'd probably like that better than the kick a little bit, just because I feel like I can go 2 rails and really use the 7 and get the snooker. Thing
Looking
is,
to
you
make
got to be
this?
prepared to aim thicker at this one. This one here, you can overcut easily trying to run. Got to, know what I mean, Scott? You got to aim thicker with spin.
Yeah, meaning you got to hit more speed, a little thicker, more speed, and your accuracy's got to be real good. 8.
Yeah, kind of smooth it around there a little bit, trying to make sure you hold the 2. Now he's looking at the combination, I guess.
It's going forward, expecting a double kiss. I mean, this just seems really steep.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked he's pushing out if that's what he does, but
Yeah, I agree, Jeremy. I mean, he can use the 8 no matter what, and he knows he can create the distance. You might get a snooker on the 8. The 8 2 rails out around in front
yeah.
of the 2.
Yeah, you got to spin it and kind of, like I said, smooth it around. The kick behind isn't bad either because you can go as deep as you want because the 8 will hold the cue ball. You know?
Yeah,
Worried about
yeah, I
that
agree.
2 down
I was just
table, so
I was just kind of thinking if it's too deep, who's too close to that top rail. Wow, he did play the combination, Jay.
yeah. I mean, hard to ever fault if they feel like they can make it. I mean, there is always element of a little backdoor safety. Or he's got to shoot a nice one here and come across one cushion. He always kind of sizes up on those. I think it lays pretty nice though between the 4-9 and back across, Scott.
Yeah, he's got the whole north side of the table to get on the 3, and he can use any type of angle. Really, just can't afford to get straight. But if he gets straight, he can spin out of it. So plenty of room here. It's just a big shot, kind of. It's obviously a shot you don't mind having. It's the first shot he's had of the match, so a big one for him.
Yeah, kind of one of his bread and butter shoots for all the great got pulling the ball.
Stroke.
Yeah, straight on the rail. The one he didn't want, so he'll have to make a bit more of a shot on the pink 4 here in a moment. This bed's been pretty fast overall, I thought, huh, Scott? Don't you think?
Yeah, I agree. I touched on that yesterday, which is a good thing, right? I mean, it tells me the room's playing pretty dry, but yeah, much quicker than I expected. I noticed it right away. Said the same exact thing.
And at Cliff, he knows what he's doing. I think he has to stay short here and just play for the angle and pink 4 up in the upper left. Maybe he can come 2 rails out. I don't know. Oh, how nice is that? Just to get a little closer, you know?
Yeah, obviously, yeah, he threw a good strike on that ball. He wanted to catch the 5 a little fuller, clearly, but he'll take this. And this is also one of his bread and butter. He just levels out and smooths this ball up into the top left. Well, he's gonna draw around 2 rails. I'm a little surprised at that. Easier to make the ball this way.
Think he's pulling it to the low rail? I
It
don't
looks
think so.
like it.
No, just kind of digging a little bit. Oh, he did. Beautiful shot.
Yeah, a little surprising that he pulled it. I thought he would level out, but maybe a sign of just a little uncomfortable, just trying to get the feel of everything and knew he could cinch the ball that way.
Yeah, he was kind of in between rolling it, too thin for that, and kind of killing it 1 rail across is kind of an in between stroke. So he just wanted to go with it a little more. But looks like it's going to be a heck of a match. I'll tell you, just seen so far. We'll get that score updated on the bottom. It's 0 Jayson Shaw. 2 break and run stuff.
Give you guys a quick update on match number 2. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz is up 4-0 over Brandon Schuff right now, early on.
Yeah, another guy that's trying to just build back to where he was, I think, FSR, which is a hard thing to do. I mean, he was top of the world for a moment, but I don't think it's necessarily the titles. It's just the play on the table, and then let's see what happens. You know, get back to the form he had.
Yeah, I haven't had it. Go ahead, Bobby.
I talked to Brandon as well. We did an interview before him, and obviously he played Moscone. I think it was 2012. But you know, he's looking to get back into that form. He seems like he's traveling a lot, and he's real excited to make a push towards USA Moscone 2025. So he's very well.
Yeah, I got cover
Go ahead, Scott.
Jeremy. I got to cover a little bit of Brandon Schuff yesterday versus young Eklent Kaci, and a pretty big win there for Brandon Schuff. And I'll tell you what, he came with couple of big long balls off the back rail that were really impressive to me. So it was good to see Brandon, and I know how well you know Brandon. It's good to see Brandon playing, and I feel like he's at the top of his game for some reason.
Well, I think you see that a lot these days with some of the guys that are trying to put in the time and maybe playing some of their best pool. I forget who it was. Oh, I talked about David Alcady, who's been a great player for a long time, but still maybe playing his best pool right now. But I just hope all them guys, Brandon and all them, just watch out, cue ball going towards that middle. He needs some help.
Gotta help. Yeah, I gotta give a shout
And
out to my guy Lucas Castleverne as well. He beat two great players and Mora and Georgiev, finishing top nine this week as well. Playing very well. Lucas is playing very strong.
yeah, I think Luca's got all the tools, but he's doing exactly what I was about to get at. If like Brandon, he got to get out to those bigger tournaments. I know if not cheap, takes a lot of commitment,
Right.
but if you feel like you're playing that game, you need to just keep playing with those guys and see what happens. Can he draw off of this ball to get somewhat straight on the two? He doesn't have to get straight. He can always have a little angle and open the three ball off the two.
Yeah, I think you'd have to pound it just a little to get into the pink, I think, but we'll see.
Well, there's angle there. I thought he caught about a foot.
All right, guys, I'm gonna head out, guys. Thank you guys very much. Doing a great job.
Thank you,
I
Bobby.
really appreciate it. I'll talk to you
Yeah,
guys
thanks,
soon.
Bobby. Yeah, but
Next,
Scott, don't you think
Somebody
there's a
come back
number
and
that
bring
we
you a
can
large glass of water.
name a bunch of guys like Brandon right here in America if they went out there, surprised at how well they'd start playing?
Yeah, there's no doubt, but you really said it right. And I know that firsthand, and I know you know it firsthand. It's all about staying in the, oh, what a hit this was to hold for the three. This tells me how good Kaci's playing, Jeremy.
Yeah, well, like I said, he's trying hard. I mean, just look at him coming into America for these two tournaments and not knocking these two tournaments. But Kaci, he's about the biggest moment there is, and I think more now it's about him getting his game as good as he going to put in the time doing.
Excited to see it. Just touching back on what you're touching on, there's at least a handful or more, maybe two handfuls of players in the States. The key is that you've got to keep playing these events, right? Because you could play one good event, take 2-3 months off and go back and you feel like you're in foreign territory. So it's really all about staying out there. That's really where the work comes in, right?
Yeah, and no coincidence. All these guys put a lot of time in on the table. They play a lot of matches. And trying to make that run. But we talk about youngsters that are coming up that don't even have a name yet of any sort as as a whole, I'm saying. Of course, they're fine young players, but we just think about the 25 to 40-year-old Americans that can really play, especially if they spent that time like it sounds like, Brandon's going to start doing, Lucas started doing more of the last year. So that's going to pay off. 2-2 here. An awesome pull so far, and that shot on the two ball that Scott kind of mentioned there. If you didn't know better, that might end up being the shot of the match.
Yeah, I mean he off
kind of
angle,
held it. Yeah.
right? Yeah, off angle, length of the table, really strong to be able to eat cell kind of like that, drag the cue ball and hold for.
Yeah, and I think that comes back to those guys that are real lucky with that cueing that's all perfectly straight up and down and all that. That really helps a lot on those types of shots. Being able to hold everything and believe it, everything's going to hold up in the stroke and what. Here's our sponsors. Made this event happen along with, of course, the one in the center, Yale Billiards and Bobby Hilton. So just standing in the middle of the ring so far, throwing big blows early in this match.
Speaking of it's blown when talk about the break shot.
Yeah. think maybe the 3 plays off the 9, so I don't think he's done here.
I agree, and I think it's more of a natural ball where he can at least get to, the bottoms, or excuse me, the lower right, just right of the right side pocket, or just below the right side pocket, excuse me.
Yeah, it's just a hair of a cut. So I don't know if he can avoid the 8 or not, but still he could get some distance, like Scott said, drawing off this ball. Was it a follow shot? Now, is he trying to go between the? And
So
the
I
reason
guess,
why
go ahead, Jay.
I was just gonna say maybe follow is necessary to make the 3. You know what I mean? So maybe follow
Yeah,
is what
might
he
be
has to
thinner.
shoot.
Yeah, thinner than
Yeah.
I thought.
I thought
Where would he
maybe he could
go?
hit it thicker and draw though, and make the 3 push through a little.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. You kind of bend the 3 if you hit it with enough speed, and it kind of takes real quick.
Yeah, for that first look, I thought draw was gonna be okay, but maybe. All right, watch out. He's maybe trying to get just cross side off the bottom of the 8, get some kind of look. That. I say watch out for the.
Yeah, so really thin there. He was cutting the 3 where it looked to me more like he kind of had to go to the face of it. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it looked like the 3 hit the bottom rail, correct?
No, actually, it hit the long rail, and
Oh, it
maybe
did.
it.
Okay.
I think it hit the long rail, Jeremy. Yeah, I'm pretty certain
Okay.
it hit the long rail
Okay.
and like 2 railed out and caught a kiss.
All right. So I think the miss was really trying to promote something with the ball. This fall is pretty perfect. Just push past the 9 now. Maybe draw back for the 6 on the side. Looks like he can go past the 9 with just a high ball.
Yeah, kind of going out of their way to not roll the ball. But it looked to me like he could simply go forward and land to the top left.
Awesome.
Does that little shuffle with his hand there sometimes when he's got the closed bridge mid stroke.
Yeah, it's kind of like, how the finger moves, you don't know it kind of thing. When
Yes.
you're, yeah, before you're striking the ball. I think it's very similar to that for Jayson. 3-2. He's got the lead back. This is going to be an awesome tournament here. Florida Open just announced a couple weeks.
Fifth through the 10th. Jeremy and I have both been to the Caribe Royale in Orlando. It's a awesome venue. A lot of things to do on the property. Pre-sale starts 7th of April. Tickets go on sale the 9th of April. Be ready for that. Set your alarms, timers, and make it happen. I believe it's actually tomorrow pre-sale starts.
Going to be an awesome event. Of course, the venue was great, Scony, but any inaugural event, all these players, they want everyone to play in, but be the first on a tournament that I think will sustain. Watch out, same as Kaci. Kaci dodged it with a kiss, but Jayson didn't.
Yeah, no love there. No kiss. Jeremy just touching on this. Could be a big swing in the match right now, the way both of these guys are breaking. Got to expect. I guess these guys play so good that Jeremy and I just expect them to constantly get out. They are playing on 4-inch pockets, like he touched on. Jeremy, you and I got to hit some balls on this exact table. Played a different game. Played a little one pocket with that Ashley Benoit, but this table plays really nice.
Yeah, and it looks even better than it did when we were there. To be honest, I really like what I've seen as far as streaming. Just makes you want to see the best players play on this type of equipment. Tougher pocket, very fair at the same time. Again, we take it like we feel like they're going to out. We had never bet against them. That's just our gambling mentality. So,
Right.
but they're earning every ball. Is going to bode well. I think some of these guys that were on top saw a little bit of a variety of winners last year from a maybe quarter shelf down the road them as far as the upper echelon. I think it kind of lit a little fire maybe. What do you think? You know what I mean? Got Robbie Capito that won major. Of course, Chua, we all know how great he is. Mickey Krause. Now Moritz Newhausen winning the P. So I think a little fire lit with those top names.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I think, you're talking about guys like Pius Labutus that are right on their skirt tails and all these younger guys, that little fire that's been lit. The talent that's there is unbelievable. Is he going to get a look? He is going to get a look. I guess that was by design. He had to know that he was going to the green six, right?
I guess. I mean, when you talk about players and who's so good table between the ears, Kaci's considered one of the best in the all-around department. And I'm with you. He had to know he's going in there, but see. But also, I think if you look at those upper echelon, if you talk about last year, there was only one guy out of that upper echelon that won all the tournaments, with Peter Gorst. So you got guys below and one guy way above right there last year. Like I said, maybe set a little fire for a Kaci and a Jayson Shaw. And who do we see win the European Open that we hadn't seen much of in the last? Josh Filler, right?
Absolutely. And you're right. Touching on Fenner Gorst, I think that really woke the rest of the field up, especially the upper echelon of the players that you're just touching on. Really woke them up.
Yeah, they motivate each other. That's how top sports is. Got here a little tricky.
And the table really does seem to be playing pretty true, right? That cue ball continuing to roll. Rails seem pretty accurate. I guarantee you it's playing really nice.
And you know how it is, Scott, when you find a table that's playing nice, it really motivates you to want to play more. I think it gives you that concentration, but also a little at ease. Time.
Well, JJ, you're talking about the pocket size, and I think I don't feel like we stress on it enough. And I'm a huge proponent of tight pockets because I think it makes a game that's already somewhat easy to these guys much, much more difficult. We get to see a lot more of the game or what's within it tactically as well, right? It just makes these guys play that much better. I think it's important. And maybe the rooms that are holding these ranking events that are listening to us, I hope that they understand or can tell the angst or stress that we have um, in our conversations that maybe get one or two tables tightened up. There's nothing wrong with a 4-inch table, and I can promise you in your clubhouse that that table's probably going to be going nonstop when there isn't a tournament because your locals really like to sharpen up on those tight tables as well.
Yeah, and completely understand. And your room's not having all 4-inch pockets. Got a lot of non-pros playing in your establishment more than this type of situation. But when it comes to the tournament aspect and really giving them that product is what you're trying to give them. And also seeing who, I think we get more of who deserves the wins more, the whole. Really got to earn it out there as a player with this type of equipment. So I think it just depends all the way around. Gotta push out to a kick here, correct?
Looking to push out to the top left where you can see a piece of the one. Don't you think it might be a little bit easy to just use the blue two? Or is he going to kick behind this?
Got the 9 to hold your ball. Oh,
Looking
let's
at
see. Did he
playing
leave
the
my
9.
rail first here? That could overthrow it, or it could be perfect. It's gonna have a hair right spin coming off. The 3 not in the way of this, I guess.
Must not be. Tell you what, it seems like it's pretty tough though. You've got to catch the one just to touch on the thin side. I believe you just touched on that, but you don't catch it, touch on the thin side. It can kind of go wrong quickly.
Yeah, the kick from behind, I think, is super easy. Your shot's super easy too. I just hate to have to hit it with speed. I hate to have to roll it also.
Well, the problem with my shot is that if you just clip the one towards the 9 could knock the one back out. You've got to kind of get in the cue ball with a little bit of an outside ball. You don't want to leave the one right there by the pocket. I don't really care for the direct shot on the one. And now he's looking at your play, which I think is, like you say, ideal. You've got so much room for cover. You just don't want to hit it straight on towards the top right corner. Just come in a little thicker.
I think as long as he smooths it with the high ball, I think he might stick him. I thought Jayson would roll out a little tougher to be.
Agreed.
Oh. Oh. Now 2-9, maybe if he can get at the 1. Surprised he missed that kick. The big man doesn't miss many of those.
So I was just going to say, really come in a lot thinner than I expected. Just let one get away from him there.
Yeah, he could have hit up underneath it pretty decent with the 9 there.
He can get at this, Jeremy.
Fine. Served to look nice. 1 ball, very cleanly struck. Seems like he's kind of like taking dead aim with everything. Stance down on the ball. Hungry.
Jayson Shaw leading 4-3. This is a race to 11. This is a WNT ranking event at Yale Billiards. Right in the booth. I am Jeremy Jones. Jayson seems to really have the one dialed down, right? A little bit better than Kaci, it seems to me right now that he's hitting the break. I mean, and I think he's a little underrated with the power that he uses as well. He does get into the balls. Quite a bit of power, Jayson.
He can turn him up for sure. He's got a variety of speeds. Gonna love this. I tell you, he's gonna have to play a little bit of a touchy shot to open. But Scott, we'll see you at the SBE just a few days, correct?
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it, bud.
Yeah.
You're gonna be spending some time in the Q-Tech booth. Hopefully you're gonna be spending some time with me in the commentary booth, but that's up to the big boss, Brent, Q-Tech.
Yeah, I'm sure some matches will run somewhat enough to get in there a few times at least. I haven't been there in 20 years, probably.
Been a long time for me as well.
Touch. Amazing when you're always worried about the overhit, how much you can really lighten up and kill the ball. But he's
Yes, it
all
look
right though.
is he looking at coming off the 8, Jeremy? And I mean, the pink must pass the 7 clearly.
I think he's going to go forward. Not like that. I don't think it passed. I think he had to gamble a little. These two are
And, uh,
certainly willing to gamble to keep the opponent in the chair, especially when these two opponents so well. They know each other and what they're capable of.
Yeah, and I fully agree touching on that. I mean, if the value is there, they're going to take the chance. They'd way rather go down taking the chance versus allowing their opponent back to the table.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like years ago where gambling, Scott, and you could say, oh, this guy's breaking the ball so well, or he got to a point where you know he's not going to make any more mistakes. You know, whether it be yourself or your guy you're playing. And I think tournaments at this level, these guys kind of look at it that way as well. Like, oh, I can feel guys. All right, Kaci's in tune. I got to not really leave it up to him at all if I can. All right, 2-game lead again, 5-3. Well,
Any other
FSR
match,
had run
Jeremy?
out to, yeah, he had run out to 4-0 FSR. Now 5-4 on Brandon. Fell off.
And I tell you what, I'm proud of that young man. He's doing a lot of work behind the scenes for Digital Pool. I'm installing the systems all over the country. But I've talked to him a few times, Jeremy, and he's really hungry to play. And you know as well as anybody, when you're actually hungry to play, really good things can start to happen.
I think it's easier to get confident that way. And I covered him early in the tournament in a loss, I think it was, but he played stellar, like really well. So a few things didn't go his way, and his opponent played well. I think it was Sam Henderson. Played perfect to get out to a lead. Probably going to see a nice one here on this thin cut on the 2. Short up that cue ball, huh? Little thinner hit that time. Didn't really threaten those side pockets.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that he'll pass this up. He's just going to rip back and forth. This is all about the make.
And just get through the ball.
Don't
Got
cut it, Jay.
a little quick with the backswing. First time, really a little different than the ones we've seen in the pre 5-6.
Yeah, and maybe a little quick just getting down on the ball itself there. I know they pan to a different camera, so maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it just seemed like everything might have been just a tick quicker than what we've seen. That's something you don't see with this guy here. Tempo is always really consistent within a game.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head, Scott. Really, just kind of feeling how he got down on the ball in comparison. We've discussed it already, Jayson, taking that hair. Seems like shot in this match today. But you know what happens, you know, it's just easy to get a little anxious, right? In a good way, though. Like you're playing good. Get down, knock this in.
Yeah, absolutely. Just maybe a little, I hate to use this term, but a little overconfident at times, right? And we've touched on it. I'm not picking on him at all, but it just seems to be that ball wasn't easy. But for Jayson, it's typically just that odd, easy ball that he might take for granted from time to time. And when he slows down, we rarely see that, but we'll see it at time to time when he's playing real quick.
Yeah, I think he can, way he's been going about it, he can discard that miss pretty easily. But the problem is, what's this guy going to do behind that miss? Guy, table right. Jayson does have a 2 lead. should get trimmed in half here.
Something unlike his younger brother, Cledio. Cledio, you know, at times I'm covering him when he's playing just a bit slower. And obviously he's young. I believe he's 22, right? But and trust me, when I was 22, I was uncontrollable. But at times he's playing a little bit more like Eklent, and then there's other times where I'll see him and he's just, boy, he's quicker than Earl or quicker than a lot of the players. So I think that the older his brother, the young Eklent Kaci, gets, more consistent he'll get with his play, and I think he's got the talent to possibly surpass his brother.
He's a big talent for sure, and a little younger than that.
Oh, is that right?
But regardless, though, yes, super talented guy, and he's so quiet and he's nonchalant like his brother in ways, and I kind of feel like he's much more into what he's doing and interested than maybe he leads on. It's not just the talent, a hard worker. Trying to find his player profile.
A little bit. I don't know why I felt like he was in his
He
early
might be.
20s.
No, he's 19 at the moment.
Oh, who didn't know that? I trust me, I was betting on you all along, Double J.
I'll be paying attention to him as far as kind of watched him on since 14 with snooker, watching him do things in pool and talking to his brother. Nice touch here. Sitting nice, but still near close quarters, it could be funny. He got the most out of it.
I really hemmed him up. Does he have to come to the second long rail here? Can he go through or thread the needle between 3 and 9?
He's got to go 2. I mean, there is a little bit of 3 and 9. I don't, unless he bends it, I don't see that happening. Let's see. Got to go twice. Could try to lock up to 7 on the 4. It's not terrible, but going to take pretty good the worst of it, probably.
And what I see right now, Jeremy, as far as the break, Kaci needs to figure it out. Jayson breaking a little bit better.
Yeah, Jayson with freaking runs already. Such a hard kick to judge because, you know, a lot of speed gets taken off the second rail, so you want to hit it a little harder. Well, another out
Yeah.
he's really got to earn here.
Touching
First
on that.
few shots.
Sorry, Jay, touching on that kick, that high ball as well, right? Cue ball will bend so much off that first rail. That's another reason so tough to judge.
Yeah, I always try to hit down on that a little bit because of that and try and make sure the first rail stays more flat. Always do.
A very good point.
Duck City here and fairly straight.
Yeah, as he might have to go behind the 6. I couldn't blame him if he did, but Jayson most likely won't.
Even if he doesn't give up a shot, just to give him a look.
Surprising there. He got real flat with ball in hand. We see it. It happens.
You think he was just trying to get a little much out of that, trying to really squeeze him? Because the snooker was going to be good no matter how you hit it.
Yeah, obviously he was really trying to put him on the backside of the 6, kind of blew him up a little bit. I think it just leaked out on him. We've all done that a few hundred times in our career.
Yeah, I wonder if he had something in mind, like trying to bounce the 4 up to make things easier. Like, I don't know. He had like an awkward look at it. Like it's 5-5, by the way, with Shuff and Ruiz
Wow.
on her hands there. This one's touchy.
Is he gonna just try and float down or hit it with power? Yeah, maybe trying to get behind the 7 there and just kind of lost it.
Yeah, he put the wrong English on the ball if he was trying to get by 7. Needed a straight draw or a hair of outside, actually. Kind of put inside on. Now, Jason, I don't know how much angle. I think he could go for this. May have to make a tough shot on the 3 part of it.
You want to talk about side pockets? Those Rassens and Sarajevo, they played great the whole time. They played great, but boy, those side pockets. This shot here, those Rassens would have been near disaster.
These have been tough as well, and it seems like, once we switch to the 4-inch pocket, no matter the table, few that are used table. On that touch again, this
Soft hands that you've touched on.
right, one rail just hit it. Feel good with a high ball. That would be the best way to shoot at this. Come across,
Yeah.
you might go forward. Got to
Why
judge the bend
why
a
is
little
that,
bit.
Jeremy? Why the high ball? Can you explain that to us just a little bit?
Well, either side, you're going to run off the bottom of it back towards the 7, or if you come across it, you're going to go forward a little more. I think you can keep control on the speed that you want, which is around medium, a little better. Or you could just try to hit down on it. It's maybe a hair more easy hit that way. Take speed and
Right.
try and get a little fortunate.
Got it.
He's hitting. This is a lot of angle.
Looks like he's going long, right?
I know
It
this
looks
camera
like
will
it.
fool you though. He hit it well down on the ball with that still medium speed, so that's special. Didn't get the result, but certainly hasn't left any. Of course, Jason gets up for the long ones. Scott.
Yeah, this is in his wheelhouse. He doesn't really even have to elevate much.
A
And a
little bit
little
of body
thin.
movement. SR grabs the lead 6-5. That's what you want with these final 4. Of course, they got to be playing great. Saw the field come down stage 2 at class, but want to see real quality close matches here.
Exceptional with the jump cue yesterday was Kaci's opponent, Jayson Shaw. Is near 100%, used it multiple times. Did hang a 1 ball up at one point, but man, he was exceptional with the jump cue, which I think he's a little underrated with as well. Everybody just talks about Jason's offense. Big jump here for Kaci.
Nine. Expected that.
And these games kind of going in twos, right? Jason will win 2, Kaci will win 2. Jason started out with a little bit of a lead, which was a 2-0 lead. So it seems like they're just kind of just jockeying back and forth a little bit here. Nobody putting extreme packages together, but not playing poorly either. Just the way things are panning out so far.
Playing well. I wonder what he's thinking about. Why doesn't he just stun between 4? 3 goes by the 4, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, stun between it or draw through them and out. I think
I
that's what
think
he's
that's what
looking
he's
at.
looking at. Yeah. This is a difficult out though. The 5's a little funny. Getting from the 4 to the 5, the 6 is up table on the left. He's got to get back for the 8. Excuse me, back for the 7, and then over for the 8 on the side rail. A lot of work here.
Yeah, and it
This
starts
is,
now. Didn't want to be too thin on the 4.
yeah, he's going to have to probably draw back. Maybe take some kind of one cushion. He can get, just past the side and cut the 5.
Might come 3 rails on the pink. He'd have to miss the 9. Like to
Might do
get
that.
full.
I mean, draw 3 rails.
Yeah, he'd like to get full, so he's just going to go forward most likely. But he can't get full to the lower left corner on the pink.
This could
He's
get
going to go
awkward.
forward.
Going forward, this could get real awkward. He's going to draw to the side rail. He just accepted this little bit of a shot. Stun. But this is a prime example of 4-inch pocket versus 4.5. You lay it tough like this. Beautiful thinking right there. Great
Beautiful
execution.
touch.
Wanted a hair more, but he's really good with the timing. He'll move it. I like that about Jayson. I talk about that a lot of times. Not forcing the second rail there. You know what I mean? A
Yeah,
lot
no
of players
doubt.
want to force that second rail and they jam it. Miss the ball a lot of times.
Yeah, I think some of their fears are maybe that top left corner in that particular shot there. But if you get into it enough smooth with the low ball, you're never threatening the corner pocket.
Yeah. Just kind of shoot it like you know it's getting there. Got
Exactly.
a lot
Yeah.
of confidence. 6-4. 6-4 is a score here. Update store. 6-5 to FSR still.
A match that is, Jeremy.
About as close as we could get around on a Sunday morning. Get to watch any of that basketball last night, Scott?
Now, you know what, Jeremy? It's, well, you deal with it as well. A little bit of a zoo. My neck of the woods.
Great basketball. I tell you. Of course, I was happy because Houston made best comebacks of the sport. Beat Duke. What an awful kiss on the hair. I think as much as anything with those types of things, Jason's got to let go, right? Just playing great, make sure that doesn't get bad rule. I say a
Yeah,
little more than little bitty, but
well, you're right though, and we do see that from time to time from Jayson. We'll see it where it can get, he can let it get under his skin just a little bit. He's typically not too bad at that. It'll get under anybody's skin over time, but yeah, I think you're right to your point. I think it's really important for him to just kind of let that roll right off his shoulder.
yeah, as best you can. But it's like trying to unsee something. Bad roll's hard to let go. If you can let it go enough, it can almost get you right back into gear and ready for more, even make you more fight tough. All right, little draw stroke.
Yeah, and I was just about to say, Jeremy, that even the 3 to the 4 there, it didn't look like anything special, but he dialed in within, few inches of where he wanted to be. And sometimes that draw stroke, when you want to get into kind of a finite area, can be touchy. And he seems to really be dialed in. So it's a good sign for Kaci.
Well, like I
Almost felt
said, I
like
mean,
he fell a little short there, but the cue ball just kept running, so he knows the pace.
yeah, I wasn't so convinced he was going to get there when he first struck the 5, but he did. Getting back to just talking about this guy, period. Yeah, he likes drawing this to the side real. Like yeah, now he's drawing. I think Cledio wanted to come to America again. He spent some time here a month ago and did pretty well. Of course, he's young and wanted to play as much as he can, but I don't think Eklent just comes along for the ride. He didn't want to come and really get into this pool.
Yeah, yeah, Jeremy. I was talking to Sanjan as well, right? Sanjan's making his way to the United States. He's going to be Sanjan Pelovanovic, I should say. He's going to be at the Super Billiard Expo. And we were talking, he was going to try to make it to this event. And I knew that Cledio was coming. And the whole time that I'm talking to Sanjan, I'm talking to him on WhatsApp, he'd never mentioned Kaci. Was Eklent the elder was going to be here. I just assumed he would be. And I never heard from anybody that was going to be here. So it's great to see that both these guys are here and they're playing the events in the States. It really sends a message to me personally that both of them are really working hard to make progress.
Yeah, I mean, there is no off season in pool. I mean, you can't kill yourself out there going 50 weeks a year or anything. Any of us, winning matches and building up to some big money later in the year. Kaci got a good taste of that last year. Change sides.
Yeah, and there's the thump, right? Talking about how quick the one enters that side pocket.
Exits quickly. Did he get a pocket here on the 2? It did come up past the purple 5. Oh,
Yeah, and this is kind of a tough one to float behind the purple. I don't even think you can. You might have to elevate if you want to do something like that.
I don't know. I might look to run off the 2. I don't like the float here. The
Agreed.
pressure's on. That kind of in between stroke is a hard one to draw on from nowhere.
Sevens could just chip off the left side, our left side of the 2.
You could do that. I think he might even try to go behind the 3.
Yeah,
Some
exactly.
long and tough. I don't know. I think there's a few options chipping it. Super touchy here. Easy to let up.
Trying to use the 9.
Excuse me. Excuse
Wow.
me.
Gotta be kidding me here. He wasn't even playing the cue ball. He just played the 9 the entire time.
Talk about leaving a bad roll behind, Jayson. That kiss on the scratch on the break, and now this combination to tie it at 6 apiece.
Well, to be honest, Sherman, it's one of the best combinations I've seen on 4-inch pockets. And I mean, he was playing it all along.
Yeah, go back and it's the U.S. Open, of course, but the U.K. Open's next on the calendar. Go back and watch the combination he made in that final filler to win it. Be unreal, but this is going to be unreal. Also, Scott, I can't wait.
Yeah, August 18th through the 23rd this year. We've covered it for the last many years, and I'll tell you what, it's one of the best venues and one of the best vibes that you can be a part of. Barry Berman would be very proud of what Emily Frazier and Matchroom have done. U.S. Open.
I mean, incredible job for so long and innovator in so many ways. Now match 2019 is yes, he gets often.
Yeah,
He
it's
gets
every
that.
couple of games.
Yeah, he gets it, and his cue ball always goes in slowly. His kiss is more out in the middle here. They're right there off the 9, and it goes in slowly. 2-9 combo here with the 3 funny.
No doubt. Quick game. Quick
Yeah,
games.
this
Two
is
9
one.
combinations.
Yeah, it's easy to overcut this if you don't pay attention. Sweet. Get it sweet.
And that was just a little easier than the one Kaci made. Game of peace, really. First real opportunity Kaci's had to take the lead, and talking about that kiss that he gets, I've often seen him with the way he powers the ball. Times he'll get that kiss off the 9 and go up into the corner.
Yeah. That upper left corner, I see it a lot with him. But if you'll watch, sometimes he'll dodge the 9-ball kiss. And he'll get a kiss from the ball going 3 rails towards the side, I think. Ball will slowly go in the side pocket. Forget what match it was in this tournament, actually. I mean, it was deja vu back-to-back breaks. Exact same kiss, exact same scratch. Seven five. FSR over Brandon Schuff. Throwing that good position overall, really.
Everything up just a little bit. But I love the attention to detail that the ref put into that rack there. If he doesn't like it, doesn't feel good about it, set him back up. Pretty sure these guys might be on a quick player break, it seems. Look at the room, watch your step.
Sign your
Yeah.
look at
Yeah.
Show Enough Schuff.
Short side here, is it necessary? Play the
He's a
6 in
little
the same corner as the 5.
thinner on the 5 than we think, but this is kind of weird going around the 9 if you're that. He might go 1 rail between them.
Yeah.
That was a good look. Real natural. I think that way, at least if you shoot it how you want, you're going to get the shape.
Yeah, he's okay. got into that a bit more than he'd like, but gonna be within one.
Certainly should be. Take care of the cue ball. Then one and breaking. In your zone. Tough fighting.
And I noticed right before we panned to this table, I might have made a little bit of a mistake. I said it was 6 games apiece. Then I noticed Shaw, his score went to 7, so I was preemptive on that.
6-4 and that scratch on the break, a break and run. Kaci made an unbelievable 2-9 combination. And got one right back.
So 7-6 on both tables. Can't get any better.
Not at all.
Tell you what, Double J, this guy was breaking the ball very well yesterday. He made 3 on the break, I believe, 2 times. I only covered about 4 games of his match versus the Eklent Kaci.
Yeah, it was funny that was kind of what his problem was, ironically. I think it was against Sam, is when he broke it first, broke a few different ways, even head on once or twice.
Oh,
Because
really?
things weren't,
Okay.
yeah, things were kind of off, and but then he got it going. Got to go, started to get the one down, and Sam had about a 5-0 lead or something. 7 was. Looking to
Looking at the
dig on
2.
this. Yeah. Tough push out. I get it. Got something. Surprised he's leveling out. Big on that.
For sure. And I do like what you're saying. Digging on it, I think you can be, number 1, you can be a lot more accurate on the 2. And number 2, the 2 is going to drop down a little bit during that contact.
Yeah, and I think really, I mean, just holding for the 3, doing something for the
That
3
as
also
well.
that was up table. Yeah. All right, Eagle Guy back on the main table. Love that. Think anyway.
And see the hand gesture. Jaw. We'll give a little hand gesture every now and then to the object balls. Wrong with it.
You can't quite just hit the 2 full enough to stop right there. That would be ideal. Get the 2 away somehow and drop behind these. Definitely awkward. And again, why pool's so amazing. You couldn't ever practice all these things. You got to go with what you know and kind of add something to it. Different comes up.
This is so tough. We might even see a push out here. I don't know. Reason it's so tough though is the cue ball's more centered. If it was a little more towards that top side pocket, then he's got a lot more room to work with. But this position, it's extremely awkward to get the 2 away.
You may have to think of something a bit tricky. Move the 8 and run the cue ball a couple rails off the 8 up to the table and something. 8's really causing problems. 8 wasn't there. I think he could get, do something with the 2, moving it away and feel pretty good, but be crafty.
Wondering if he could bank it past the 8 and maybe use 7 to slow the cue ball down, but let him see it. I don't think it passes to the lower left, and if it does, it's close. Wedge him up behind the pink, Jay.
Yeah, I commend Jason's play, really. I think getting the 2 by there and anticipating maybe the cue ball won't run that far. I think he played a smart shot. Didn't have much. Yeah, this should be
Oh, might
okay to
go.
get. Take what we get there.
Yesterday, Jeremy, I just touched on this. And there were 2 that I know of that were very similar to this jump shot that he knocked down. Speaking of Jayson Shaw.
Kaci had a very surprising foul, what I thought was a. Well, Jason's quietly one of the best in the game at this, without people even knowing it.
See why it was really just a fraction off the mark of getting that down. Typically, these guys are going to overcut a hit like that. Tells you how straight the back arm is. If he's catching it a bit fuller, he hit it really a lot better than it looked.
Played it, he was confident on the make. Played it with a lot of control, no backdoor safety involved. Put his maximum effort on knocking it in. These are laying real nice to tie this again. Ooh, big ball. Big miss.
Yeah, a little taken back by that. He obviously caught it on the thin, right? Where he ended up on the 3. There's nothing wrong with playing the paint to the top left, pinching back for the 6. I actually think that's probably the play, but a bit of a glaring miss on the blue 2 there.
I don't think that was thinking ahead. I don't know what that was.
Really
Jason's
don't. Sorry, Jeremy. I really don't even
Oh,
want to
no, go
touch
ahead.
on it. I don't want to touch on negativity at all, but I do know that the arm was a bit bothersome at the PLP for Eklent Kaci. People don't know he did have pretty horrific accident a while back now, but wouldn't say it's bothering him here. I haven't seen him hamper it much. At times he tells me he just can't get that bridge settled. Now, that
Yeah,
shouldn't
I
be
mean,
an excuse,
that's.
right?
No, I think he would tell you that wasn't a problem, probably. But what it is he'll just never be quite the same like he was in that regard. So I think I noticed it. Oh, this could get funny if he gets on the wrong side. Okay, I think a little off the rail also. But when he first came back, you could notice that anytime he was elevated, as soon as he released the cue, he kind of broke down the bridge, or he would stay, in position a little longer prior.
Getting a little quicker, Jason. Pace.
He's had this 2-game lead a few times. I expected it to be tied. Kaci had to open, but let that one go and capital 6.
Salado is the world's premier pool community. Playing your friends has never been more fun. Raise the bar with Salado so regular practice can become real pressure. With monthly prizes and cash payouts, Salado brings pool to the people. You can even submit match results to Fargo Rate through Salado if you want, but you don't have to. Your race, your place. Make your matches count with Salado. Download now and get started. No minimum play per month. 8, 9, 10 ball. You choose. It all counts.
So pretty big miss. Kaci maybe just did something that we all tend to do from time to time, from the amateur level all the way up. Just take it for granted, maybe just a little bit. Maybe took his eye off the aim point. maybe, a lot of little things could have happened there, but he missed a two ball that he never supposed to miss. And Shaw, he's knocking the one down again, Jeremy.
Who's coming open? So he gets a chance to really penalize big mistake from Kaci here nearing the end of the match also. All right, little shake of the head, so probably not much angle. He's got to draw the ball. Decent.
Having a
gonna have-
problem here. Can you get Bubba?
Love to get somewhere where he's at now. Just one rail. Just don't get snookered, of course, but can he come across one rail like that?
Yeah, I actually think the center of the table is great if he can just get past
Yeah,
the right center side of the table.
yeah, absolutely. Have a shot. Good thing is he's going to come long, I would think. Hard to get in trouble coming long 2 rails in between the 9-5, something at the 5, something like that.
Yeah. This is so thin, he might even come 2 rails under the 5 if you just stay leveled
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I think getting through the ball a little more, maybe could have a hair of spin, but it's all about the speed and, of course, knocking a tough pink in the upper left, but I like his chances. Heavy.
Catching the 5 there might turn out to be pretty fortunate. That's the reason he caught it heavy, is going into the 5 is why that happened. Getting to the 5 now, see it's on the lower rail, very difficult.
Yeah, he'd love to at least just make this and get a look at the 5. Try and get in control of this game. Huge game, of course.
Is this even possible, Jeremy, with some type of a real thin clip rail first if he were to bend it?
Well, if he didn't have to bend it, I think he can get shape. I think he can get it long enough high the 8. He's going to the jump cue, so I think here you're not going to go crazy rail first. I think probably ice the ball. Try and move the cue ball to the left side of the
Yeah, or just stay there. Even if you have to, just get something at the purple.
Yeah. The 9's a big ball to snooker you, but it's not that big of a ball. You may, I stay there. I feel like, yeah, I like him trying to move the ball. Really.
Yeah, I didn't
I
feel like he could even get it that thin. What a hit.
Yeah, he cheated it, huh?
Yeah, a little bit, quite a bit. Great shot.
Now he's tempted to cut this in, probably.
I think you have to, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Go towards the 9.
I think it's just preference on how you like to make the ball. If you're one of those outside like a Chua, he might go low outside and come 4 rails for this ball for the 6. Kaci, he may just level out and go into the 9, which is probably the prudent play, the percentage play. Out left side pocket. Hit it with inside.
Work not to do. This is pretty thin. He might end up, can't tell how steep this is. He might end up banking at the ball.
I'd rather cut it and try and go 1 rail into the 7 before I banked it.
I agree. The way he's
Can't kill-
looking at it,
yeah. Yeah. He kind
I
of
think-
cues down on those when he's sizing them up, no matter where he hits the ball, times.
yeah, he's got to cut at it. and he's going to go, like you said, towards the 7, I guess. But I feel like the cue ball might be a little lower than the 6, actually. So I don't know.
Rather go at the 7 than try and kill it or something if it's not there. Take your chances. Great shot. At least that gets you that comfortable speed to pocket the 6 with, right? One at the 7 instead of trying to play some soft speed.
100%. Hit it as good as you could hit it. Now you can use that low outside ball if you'd like. Kind of helps the 7. Can't get in any trouble on the 8, but I don't know if this is too thin. I think he can still use it.
Let up. E. Thick.
So a gift. Couple of gifts. Last couple of games. The 2 ball and now this.
Deja vu for me for the start of not only the start of the POP for him, but also some of the European Open where he just played really incredibly well. Really into it, it looks like, and then just let a couple shots get away. Then it kind of snowballed on him at the POP. There, the second, third, fourth, fifth day probably. Yeah. All right, he hasn't had a 3-game lead yet. Does now. Equal Eye up 9-6. Nine six on both tables. Information if you want to join the Sharkstream. Stuff going on. Do always.
$10 monthly or $100 a year. Good as it gets, right, Jeremy? They're constantly streaming. A lot of great stuff that Bobby Hilton brings to his room. I were there not long ago and did a kind of like a 4-way meet and greet with Earl Strickland and Rodney Morris. Then you and I played Earl Strickland and Rodney Morris, and we both dogged our brains out. Should have robbed them.
Yeah. Yeah, we had our chances, that's for sure, but that's all right. We'll give it to the old guys. Say that very chance to.
We are the old guys now, Double J.
Yeah, Eagle Eye, the two balls coming. 2 balls coming. What's gonna happen? That's playable. Gotta give us a good one here, but Scott was a little moan about that 9 ball, huh? Scott?
Yeah, she was threatening. Yeah, and you talk
Oh.
about a good one. This is something he can do. Purple 5, maybe just take your chances going towards it. If it's that thin, and possibly beat it. Might
Putting him
just
on
be
the
going
8.
to the 8. Yeah.
That's so easy, right? But I love that shot myself. That 2 ball, but I think if the 5 wasn't there, he definitely attacks. Just didn't want to hit it well and go right into the 5 and not have anything. I guess.
Right. Pretty
Plus,
good
if you
here, though.
Yeah, the 6s cut him off nicely. Looks like.
Yeah, that 6 is posing big problems. He's going to have to play this ball long. Might have to dig into it a little bit more and hit it a little easier. Get above the 6 here. I don't even know if he can get there. Really going to have to dig into this. How's he going to react after missing the balls that he really shouldn't have been missing?
2 ball was a big one a couple games ago. Got tied the match too.
And there you have it for me. I was touching right there. I feel like you had to let that ball open up, meaning the cue ball. So the pace at which you hit it was all so important. Got it way too quick, in my opinion.
Yeah, you just got to go for the hit and hope you bump the two up on the rail, hitting it much lighter,
Yeah,
like
that
you were
six
explaining.
there, you can see how big of a ball the 6 really was.
I like this. Oh my, I didn't think he'd do that. Looked like he was setting up to just naturally go between them.
That just skid, kicked a little bit, maybe.
Well, you know, when you put the ball close to it, you know, sometimes your cue ball doesn't gain that top English character as much as you think it would go through the hit. So your kind of your line off the ball is a little different, you know.
Yeah, it just looked like the 2 went to the top side of the pocket there, and maybe felt like, you know, I almost am positive there might have grabbed a little bit more.
Definitely could have had a kick.
But you also talk about that, Jeremy. When the cue ball's close to the object ball, you've got to give the cue ball time rotate, right? Otherwise, it's
Yeah.
going into the object ball, sliding almost similar to a knuckleball, and that can cause kick.
A big believer in that.
I am as well. Once you taught me that, I really, it makes a lot of sense. I was guilty many, many times, ball in hand, where I would cue ball way too close to the object ball and not give it time to release. And I would blame anything but myself.
Right, takes on the bank here. Stun forward, a hair, maybe kind of hold it. See him passing on that.
Trying to get the feeling it's really now or never at this point. It's almost a must-win game if you're Kaci. Neither one of you are breaking and running 3 or 4 racks. At the moment, anyway, we haven't seen it. It's just kind of been a back and forth match, even though Shaw up by 3. But now's the time, Eklent Kaci.
When you hit
Wow.
that sweet, that can get you going. I think Jason's just still a little upset about the ball and hand shot. I really feel like the energy on that bank still had that on his mind. I get it. All right, he's still got to do a little work here. He's got to fall on the 6 decent to hold for the 7. He's a little straight here on the 4. Guess he's okay with this. Just kind of lay up over side at the side cushion. He elevated here?
Yeah, I think he's got to elevate a little bit.
Oh, does he? Okay. I was wondering. Okay. Came close to that side pocket. Update FSRs on the hill at 10-6. She trying to prevent that score at the moment. Little wrong side here, it looks like. I
And
think anyways.
oh, you're absolutely right. Quite a bit in the wrong side. I think that's a little bit better than being just barely wrong side. He might have enough space to come out 2 rails or 1 rail.
Near the cushion though. Could make it kind of get outward. Little missable. That's for sure on the 4-inch pocket.
And it's the same pocket that the blue 2 was missed, and very similar shot, to be honest with you.
Stroke there. That's settle. A little concerned at the moment. Kaci, but got another on the board. 9-7 and breaking. Look at that US Open. It's going to be several good weeks here on the East Coast. US Open, kind of that finale. 3 or 4 week span. Better, of course, the defending champion over SVB. What a final that was. What really a tournament was. Like you said, Scott, the energy that has been brought to that event here in the Northeast. Hats off to all the locals there and everyone from around the world that comes to support that.
Yeah.
Still my favorite.
Well, Jeremy, you're a winner of that event, and I gotta say, I'll tell you, it's what an accomplishment to win the U.S. Open. I think I made the final 8 the year Ralph Souquet won. Who can run 8 on me? I think I was up 8-1 on him, and I got 2 kick shots. But that event's come a long way. Longest lasting event in the United States, correct? The U.S. Open.
I actually think the Texas Open is the longest 9-ball event. 54 years, I think.
Okay. And what is the U.S. Open? Is it 51
It's just got it.
50?
Yeah, it's just got it by a couple years. Yeah. 51 now. 50.
Well, Jeremy,
76, I think. Maybe.
going to get us in a little bit of trouble here, but we've got to say hello to somebody that you know quite well. All boys, he tuned in. Colleague.
Oh,
That's him.
Boise. Boise doing the work. Probably
Yeah,
has
he's
a
over
pint, has a pint with the action.
there. He's over there getting ready for the dunk tour.
Yeah, funny one here. I don't know if he can draw back and get good on the pink or if he even wants to. Would you ever take an angle on the pink and the side to go kind of like 4 rails between the 8 and 9 and back up for the purple?
Yeah, because
doesn't mind.
Okay, you could get into it a little bit.
All right, kind of awkward if he has to go to the rail. Got to kind of smooth it. Oh, he's stun it. Well, the table camera will fool you sometimes. Thought he was on the other side of that ball, Scott.
Takes 2 of us. I actually thought he might just come towards the center of the table. Well, what a big game the last game was, right? You kind of touched on it. Maybe Jayson just a little bit frustrated with the bank shot that he played after ball in hand play. Don't want to fall flat here. Don't want to fall on the rail either. But huge game last game. Kaci in the driver's seat get within 1. Things could change quickly here.
Yeah, and it almost feels like Ray Jason's played and a few mistakes, not a lot, but just a couple of mistakes from Kaci. This match could be over already. Now we're looking at maybe 9-8. And it falls close to straight and on the rail here. Just enough to kind of go to the rail and be able to produce some type of decent position, maybe the 9 on the side.
It's good. Does have a pint.
Pint. Let's see, what time is it? Getting ready for the Sunday roast, maybe? Boise. We'll be there not long. Boise's playing the UK Open.
Could be. Such a natural talent, still young and great condition. Definitely missing out right now.
Well, he's a national treasure.
That's right.
Supposed to play it. Barry Berman's playing it. Or Barry Hearn, excuse me. Sorry about that, Berman. Yeah, Goldstein's going to play it. Who knows else? celebrity or two. Two the big ones right here for us, though. Eklent Kaci and Jayson Shaw. I hope.
You gotta feel like if Eklent can tie this up, things can change, right? I mean, I feel like he's just been so close multiple times. That big two ball that he missed was, you know, set him back a few games.
Yeah, Jason's had a couple things, you know, get away, but what always sticks out to us is when the balls are a little bit easier or more routine that are made a mistake of. So feel like they're going to stand out more.
At this break, Jeremy. Two rails blush into the 9, 2 dresses up. Can't hit his break any better. There's nobody can hit that break any better than what he just did.
And it looks like he always gets so good at spreads that he really can't say we'll repeat it because you can repeat the one, but good luck repeat the rest of the ball. Seems like he can run a lot of racks. He's kind of getting looks. Got to play a good one to 6 to 7 though. Now 4 to 5, all that is pretty imperative.
I mean, really, what I'm looking right here, there's nothing wrong staying a little vibe here if you want to decide.
I want to run that myself. I would do that.
Because that's the only way you can get trouble now, trying to get above 5. He's the only way to get trouble. He's well.
Really good. Wouldn't be surprised to get another player out here. I don't know if Chase got one left.
Big. Look at the 7-9 combination here.
Oh, he can pull the rail some.
Yeah, I feel like he can do this.
Buddy Hall would make it go right up the rail like he was straight in.
Jayson Shaw as well. He's right on.
And it's amazing how good Buddy used to be able to ball the rail. Okay. They land straight though. This could get ugly. And that happens so often on a shot like that.
Yeah, he might have to just take the long ball here. Let's finish this.
Doesn't seem too upset though.
Cinch City coming up. He needs to get this down. It's obviously now or never. Kaci. Won't feel like he's going to roll this leveled out, right? Most of these guys are going to want to use that running English and just pop out of the lower right corner.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't mind the leveling out really and just like pure it, put some speed, come to the top cushion through rails. So good at that. So, I mean, that's where I was talking about like knowing that stroke is really straight.
Yeah, and he's one of the few that'll actually play that ball like that.
Yeah. I like that a lot of times rather than digging. When I was playing well, it's one of the actual few shots I use with real true center as well. I mean, a lot of times you put a hint of English one way or another, but really good stuff in 9-9.
Couldn't ask for much more. Felt like this match had been tied up multiple times. We get an update on FSR versus Shuff.
He took it down. No more live
Yeah.
scores on that one for me. So FSR, I'm assuming, did win it at 11-6 clip.
A huge break shot from Kaci last rack. He'd love to repeat that. It was break and run.
SR actually defeated Brandon Schuff 11-7. So
Was 7, okay. 11-7 was that final.
Oh, and then 9.
And I think he can see the 3 ball.
That's kind of what Jeremy was talking about right there, how he caught the bottom of the 9. A lot of times you catch it just a clip fuller, you can easily dunk into one of the corners. Tough. He can, even if he can see this, can he hold from think? Gonna have to take a long drag stroke here, maybe.
He doesn't mind the distance, so gonna stay confident here, I believe. Do whatever it takes. Scott, what's our final? What's the time for our final later? I just wanted to inform everyone. I see it offhand, thought you
Yeah,
might have it.
yeah, I believe it's 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
Could be wrong. Most likely am.
Thought it might be 3 o'clock. We'll get that confirmed here in a moment, y'all.
Okay, so could be a little sooner than 3 p.m. Not sure yet. We'll get you updated on that.
Gotta know it's going forward here. I think if he hits it clean, he may not catch the 8 coming out. Right, so
Yeah, I think he can miss the 8 going forward.
speed's a little heavy, but still plenty of room to work with. All right, I like just cutting it in and just coming one rail.
To the inside or the outside of the 7, to the right or left of the 7.
I thought it was thinner than what it was. It looks like now I would come 2 rails, Scott, to the right side of the 7. I thought it was a hair thinner when I first
Right.
looked at it. Now it's just a hair of English, just a smudge of left, just a little bit down low.
Really good timing on that shot. Kind of felt like he was coming all along, right? Jayson left let the door open a few times. The last thing I can really remember Jayson doing wrong though was the cross side.
Left nothing easy there, and Kaci came with an incredible 3 ball. If you're perfect on the pink, the side rail near the side pocket. Got a little bit of the knuckle.
Sure did. Confident stroke there. Didn't catch anything but the gut. It's Double J. We got a new leader in clubhouse.
His first lead, I think. Jayson opened 2 racks, breaking runs to start the match, and has had the lead till now. 10-9, Eklent Kaci. Surprised if Jayson gets it out here. It's tied up at Hill, but wait and see. They had a lot of movement on the 9, so pay attention to that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is got kissed on the way by and a bigger kiss on the way back. See it. Well, slivers the 9. Knocks it lower middle side pocket. All I can tell you is great tournament again for Jayson Shaw, but he get clipped at the end here by Eklent Kaci. Got any words before we close it down before the final?
No, other than that was just a excellent call, double J on the 9 on the break. A little heartbreaking or disheartening for Shaw there. Didn't get a lot of chances though. So what a great match. You just kind of felt Kaci coming on strong towards the end, and we look forward to the next final.